Not as smooth as an entrance as I would like there at the end, but nonetheless, pretty good, pretty good. That's a great trailer. We're so happy to have the SKITS team here, Michael and Carshénah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, I didn't ask you before.
You are pronouncing it perfectly with your accent. Thank you. Hey, everyone.
Thank you for having us. This is awesome. Thank you.
I love your guys' energy. That's what always drew me to you guys, is that just crazy energy that you guys bring to it. So I've been looking forward to this conversation for so long. Everyone who's familiar with my show and my book knows, I get into that dream world and everything. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys. And we're actually meeting for the first time now. We've seen each other around on Twitter. But this is the first face-to-face contact we've had. So, yeah, it's great to meet you. And we've got Blue here as well.
Hello.
How you going, Blue?
I'm well.
Excellent, excellent. And we've got some people...
Really happy to meet this energetic couple. I've seen like 5 of their videos. I have to keep up a lot on YouTube. So it's like, holy cow, they're real. They're here. So.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier that
we're real.
You've been excited to... Absolutely. You come get some. All right, let's do it.
Come get some. Yes.
Excellent. So we've got Rancid Potato in the chat. He says he's too early. I hope you come back, Rancid Potato. You don't want to miss this show. LR goes here. He's saying he's pretty sleepy. He might be dreaming. Felix Haas is in the chat. He's dropping links in there. Hal Felix. Mo Biggs is here. He's throwing out hails as well. Here we go. Verse Film Productions. Yeah, we haven't seen you before. Thanks so much for dropping in. He says, hey, SKITS team, the dream team. Absolutely. Antoine Dennison is here. Great to see you, buddy. Hail. We got Mo Biggs is in the house. If I said that already, can't remember. And excellent. So, as more people pile in. Oh, more people. Johnny Rando's here. He says, hail the chat. I think my 2-year-old is watching, so I won't be doing any swearing. He's in that parrot moment of life where everything you say, he'll just repeat back at you the one thing you don't want him to say. So I got to try and keep it clean. Cygnus 5 is here. He says, hail all. Great. We got some good, cool, awesome. We got some people coming in here. This is going to be a great conversation. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this. I first saw you guys on the, I first learned about you guys from the Come Get Some YouTube show, which you've been doing for a while now, haven't you?
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes.
And these guys, Carshénah does these great reviews. And then, we learned from them that they've got a book, SKITS. Like, you guys have been promoting this thing for a long, long time. You had a long period of the pre-launch thing. I hope you got a lot of signups. And I think you must have, because you launched this a week ago? And it's been going great. And I've seen you everywhere.
Thank you so much.
you,
Yeah,
yeah.
1 week ago, we're the catchphrase is "sell the sizzle." You know what I mean? So you're selling the sizzle.
Yeah,
so.
man. It's like we're just trying to do the best we can, just get it out there. I mean, we started like 9 months ago, just starting showing our artwork out there, and then people started to gather and like our stuff, and we started getting on shows, and it's just been wonderful, the reaction that we've gotten from everyone, and we're really blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, energy and enthusiasm sells, and you guys have that in more than spades. You've got that in spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds. So, you're running the full gamut there. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have you guys on, I don't know if you've seen this show before, but basically, my philosophy is with these streams is anyone can go onto your your campaign page and read through everything, but it's rare that you actually have the person in front of you. So I like to try and get to get to know you a little, see your background. I mean, I just have a feeling now that everyone kind of knows you guys now. But what I really want to talk about with you two is the whole dream thing. That's the connection that we have. I do a book. It's got dream elements in it. It's about dreaming and stuff. It's called The Lucent. You guys have the SKITS book.
Yep.
And why don't you tell the people again quickly, Michael, how that all came about with the dreams, because you got a really cool story there.
Yeah, so the background is first off, SKITS is a book about a guy who can't tell the difference between his dreams and his reality. And the way that came about is about 20 years ago, I was working at a TV station, and I was working the midnight to 8 a.m. shift. We call it the graveyard shift. And my days and nights just started to meld together. And you start walking around in a haze. You don't really know what's going on. But I started having sequential dreams. Every day I'd have a dream, and then the next day it would start up where the day before it left off. So for about 2 months, I was having these sequential dreams, and I just started documenting them, putting them down, writing about them. And, 20 years later, here we are actually making a book about it. I mean, how cool is that,
It's so weird because I have almost the same kind of story. Now, like I didn't really think of my dreams as sequential, but now that you've put that in my mind, it's been like a bit of a brain worm. And now I think like the experience that I had was sequential as well. It may not have been like a story, like I wasn't going on a journey that would continue night after night. But what would happen for me is, and my story is back when I was at college, at university, we call it. I just had crazy sleep hours, and I would sleep in really late. Yep. And it was in those sleep-ins that I would have these intense lucid dreams, really intense. And what I found is that when I realized, I'm dreaming again, I would think, oh yeah, I did this last night and the night before, and I was doing this. I'm going to see if I can do that again. And I realized that the things I wanted to do in the dream, like I always wanted to fly around and fight people and just do cool things, do really trippy things. I used to try and put my hand through glass and mirrors and stuff, see what's on the other side of the mirror.
Oh, nice.
All that sort of stuff. Yep. And what I realized is that when I first started to try it, I couldn't do it. Like when I was trying to fly, I wasn't like Superman. I wasn't like Neo. I would just kind of float up, and I'd be like swimming, like you're floating in space, just kind of swimming, like dog paddling around, and it wasn't very cool. But I realized that with concentration and practice, night after night, I could get better at it. And then by the end of it, I was like Superman, just like wherever I wanted to go. Another thing that was really hard for me was if I would try and jump from a really high place, and that you just got that feeling of the wind is going through you, and you're coming down really fast, and you want to try and like do that heroic landing, that they all do in the movies. And I would just splat and hit the ground, and wake up, and that was really bad because I'm like, I was having so much fun. And then I learned that eventually over time I could learn to stop myself before I hit the ground. So I would like come down and just land nicely on the ground. And yes, I was doing this over a period of years, learning how to dream. So, I mean, it's not quite what your experience was with the story continuing, But it was a life-changing experience, and it stuck with me for so long that I as well had that in my mind and thought, this has to become a story. People need to read about something like this. So it's always blown my mind that we've had that kind of connection.
Well, let me take you back like 2 years before what I just told you about working at the TV station. Okay, so I just graduated from college. 2 years earlier, I actually started experimenting with my dreams as an experiment for doing art projects. Okay, so I've always been a lucid dreamer. I've always been able to wake myself up out of my dreams. I've always been able to fly, do stuff like that, you know. But I started doing experiments where I'd go to bed and I'd focus specifically on just one thing, okay? And that one thing might be a person, that one thing might be an object, it might be a situation. And what I found is if I focused hard enough and I went to sleep, I would actually dream about that particular situation, person, or whatever.
Wow.
And I started learning things through that, you know, and it's really, really difficult to do. And you got to be really centered and you can't be really too busy. You know, when you're in art school, you have time for these types of things. But eventually it got to a point to where I felt like I was starting to see things before they would happen, and it just kind of freaked me out, and I just stopped completely. Okay. Now,
are you saying in real life you started
getting
getting that feeling?
Yeah, exactly. Like I would start having dreams about particular people, and I'd be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. I had this, and then it would actually start happening. Just weird things would start happening. Yep. So I stopped because it was just kind of freaking me out. But going back to what you were saying about flying and stuff like that, well, I found that I could do things by having cues in my dreams. Like if I want to wake up from my dreams, I blink my eyes. That'll wake you up right out of your dream.
Yep.
For me to fly in a dream, I could take like a roll of paper towels. I don't know why it is, but I'd hold on to a roll of paper towels, and that would allow me to fly.
He wants to clean up his dreams.
I don't know. I mean, that's just how it was. So I could fly with paper towels. One thing I could do the walking on water type thing just by fluttering my hands. I don't know what the heck that's all about, but a lot of these things.
It's a power.
Actually, a lot of these things just come from having like totems. Like you got to have a totem to let you remember what you're supposed to do to make your body do it in your dreams. So that's always been something that I've done. But the sequential dreaming, this was the big thing for me. It was being able to start up a story, stop it, then the next day pick up where it ended and keep going with it. And that happened, you know, over about a 2-month period. Not every night, but almost every night.
Yeah, and that's just so crazy. I just love the thought of your line there, like, what's going to happen tonight? Or then you wake up from one of them and go, oh, man, that was great. I wonder what's going to happen next.
Okay.
And I'm the total opposite. I grew up as an insomniac. All my childhood, I was an insomniac. And even through college, I went through like these little dream tests and did the dream journals and things. And I always had reoccurring dreams. And then I'm what they call a high functioning insomniac, where, you know, I can be up literally for 3-4 days without having anything. You know, I don't drink coffee. I don't do drink or drugs or anything of that nature. And I'm literally just like this, very vibrant. People are like, what did you do? And I'm like, I'm just up. You know, my synaptic nerves are always firing because
I can tell that about you.
So much bottled in.
Mo Big says, I have also been described as high functioning. Or is that about the other Michael? It's so confusing. My wife was just commenting, because she watches all the shows as well, how many people making comic books out there are named Michael. It's getting spooky. And you're not a graphic designer by trade, are you, Michael?
Actually, yeah. That's how I got started.
Oh my God.
Currently,
For real?
Currently, I'm doing product development. I'm not actually doing graphic design anymore. I'm doing product development instead of graphic design. But yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
god, it's like every second person is a graphic designer.
Now, I want to make sure I didn't miss a beat here. Did you just tell us about the first time you flew or had a lucid dream? Because I'm interested in that.
No, he didn't mention that. So, do you remember the first time?
To tell you the No, I've had dreams like this since I was a kid, so I can't recall the first time I ever did anything like that. I've just always been able to.
Okay, my totem for flying in a dream on the first time was not a roll of paper towels. It wasn't even my childhood teddy bear of who was named PJ. It was actually in nursery school. They had one of those broomsticks with a horse head on it, and I had that thing in my hand in my dream, and I tripped and fell, and so that's what kept me from landing, and that's what flew me up was having the stick with the horse head on it. And then I discovered I could kind of fly, which was like, oh, this is neat. And in my sleep, it would give me a weird feeling kind of in my shins. So later, another time, like a few years later, and bear in mind, I'm like, kindergarten, first grade age when the first dream happened, somewhere around there. But later, I wanted to see on the top bunk of the bunk bed. And I didn't know I was dreaming, but I was kind of lucid. Like I was very aware of my dreams, but I didn't know I was dreaming. And then I got that funny feeling in my shins, like my feet just went behind me, and I just lifted up, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I can fly. That wasn't a dream." And then I woke up.
Nice. So basically, you had Pegasus in your dream. You had a flying horse. You were on Pegasus, man. Basically.
I mean, that makes for really good visual storytelling. The idea of flying on one of those little stick horses. I mean, that's cool.
And I think I accidentally dropped it, which scared me. But then nothing happened. Anyway, that was a dream, like in kindergarten, first age, remembering nursery school of all things. So,
Elago says
awesome.
he has dreams where he's falling a lot, and well, maybe what you can do is just I mean, falling is not something that usually happens to people. Usually when you're falling, you're about to die. So what you can know is that if you ever find yourself falling, just think, I'm dreaming right now, and try what Michael said, like blink your eyes really fast, open them up, and just get yourself out of that situation. That's how I kind of got into this as well. I used to have I used to have a dream about I'd be walking down a path with these enormous aquariums to my left. This is when I was very young as well. And I just felt compelled to walk down this path. And when I got to a certain aquarium, there was a shark in there with my dad. And I'd watch my dad get eaten by a shark. And it was horrific. So one day, I think I just realized, like, this is such a strange situation that I just said, hang on, there's nothing making me walk down this path. So I just stopped, turned around, and woke up. And from then I realized, oh, hang on, I can actually control what happens in these things. And then from then on, it just kind of spiraled out of control, and I was fighting zombies and getting involved in lightsaber fights, and it was amazing. And now I'm at a point where if I ever have a nightmare, I'm like, yeah, bring it on, baby, let's do this. I'm like, come at me. I'm gonna ruin your day.
That is awesome. Well, as you know, when you're a kid, and you can attest, with your little one, kids are sponges. Their minds are forever growing, but they're also forever absorbing things. So it's really funny how everyone on the panel is like, oh yeah, when I was a kid or when I was that. It's like, yeah, because those are one of your first memories, and that you absorb that type of attention in your brain that now you can recall, as an adult. So, which is actually pretty, it's
awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Horus the Great says, why would I fly when he can make it X-rated? Well, look, you can try. What can happen though is you get a bit excited there and you wake yourself up, so I don't know. That's been my experience anyway. We won't go too far into that because I've got my wife listening. Tatsunami says, hola, how you going, Tatsunami? Sigmate Studio, a friend of the channel. That's Stephen. He says Skits looks great. He's got a book of his own called Terra Olympus.
Thank you.
Everyone go check that out as well. All right, nice. So
Nice.
I totally understand why you have this thing, this experience in your life that you've been carrying around for years and years, and you're like, I need to, get this out because this is just so unusual and potent, and it's just like hot fire for the imagination. When and how did you start, developing it into an actual book?
I think immediately. As soon as I started doing this, I started documenting it and putting it into my sketchbooks and starting to do drawings based upon it. So for me, it was almost immediately. And then I just started developing stuff over time. I'm always sketching. I got piles of sketchbooks and stuff. So I've just been working on it for a really long time, since day one, pretty much.
Yeah, I can totally feel that. I've been working on mine as well for about a decade, and yeah, these things when you're just kind of, working on the side or whatever in your spare time, it does take time to develop it and really tease it into something that is an actual product that you can hand to people in some sort of sensical way. You can't all be, look, I'm flying with paper towels on my arms. Read this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's start going into the book a little bit. Let's have a look here. Can you tell the difference between your dreams and reality? Is there a difference? I love that question too. Have you ever been stuck in a loop in a dream where you think you've woken up but you actually haven't? And it can go on forever.
Yes.
It sucks.
Like that movie Looper. I mean, it's kind of similarly.
Well, I've been stuck in loops where it's like I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like I'll do it all night where I just keep going through the same sequence, It's really kind of crazy, to be perfectly honest with you.
It happens to me when I have a fever, and it really sucks. It's what I say to my wife, I'm sick now. I'm going to have these really crazy dreams. I'm not looking forward to it.
No.
So
sweating your dreams out.
Yeah.
Is this all your art, Michael?
Yeah, obviously I'm the creator and illustrator on this project. I do everything except for editing, and that's what she does.
So I'm the editor and co-writer as well. So yeah.
So Carshénah, you come in and try and make sense of all this crazy stuff that we're seeing here on the screen.
I do. I just make sure that there's structure, make sure that there's a flow, because again, like you said, the question mark, whose dream is it? Am I editing his dream that I'm dreaming about, or are you reading about someone else's dream that was edited by my dream? I don't know.
Dream within a dream within a dream. Do you guys like Inception, the Christopher Nolan film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah,
good
cool.
film.
I actually only saw it once. I got to go back and watch it again because I feel like it's one of those movies where there's probably lots of things going on in there that I missed the first time around.
There's so much.
Yeah.
It's streaming on Netflix, Amazon Prime. I mean, it's everywhere.
I saw it in the theater when it came out, and I didn't see it again until when we watched it a couple months ago. So, I mean, it'd been and there was a lot of stuff in there that I had missed.
And you would have had this story already, in progress in your mind, the skit story. So you're coming into it thinking, oh, well, we're going to see another story about dreams within dreams and bending reality and all that sort of stuff. I had the same experience. I was working on The Loosened as well. And I'm like, oh, I hope it's not too close.
Well, I don't think anyone's is really going to be quite like mine. It is about the dreams, but at the same time, you'd be amazed at how much structure is in this story, and that's what made it really weird, because most of my dreams are just kind of you know how they are. They can be all over the place. Everyone knows that, So it's like, to have this much structure in a dream is really kind of odd, And this is only book one. We got 6 books planned, so there's 5 more left to do after this one.
Exactly.
Now, is the reader supposed to always be able to know when they're looking at a dream versus not, or is the reader supposed to be left guessing here?
No.
And there? Okay.
Yeah, the reader has to figure it out for themselves.
Yes, and it's up to you. I mean, if you can figure it out by page 1 or 2, then kudos to you. But you know, the whole thing is to follow the journey.
Okay.
It's to follow the journey. You know.
Well, here's the deal, though. I mean, is it about dreams or is it about his schizophrenia?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so even if it's not a dream, we're seeing a warped perception of reality. Even okay.
Yeah, but even if it isn't warped, you know, everyone views reality different. You know, that age-old question that we all ask in the schoolyard, you know, is the color that I see red, is that the same? Does it look the same to you in your eyes? There was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, oh, now I'm gonna totally blank on his name. I think it's Feynman, a famous scientist from the middle of last century.
Richard,
yeah.
He
Richard
was
Feynman.
Yeah, he did some fantastic things, just like little thought experiments and stuff. He did some great lectures. He told a story about how just for fun, because this is what physicists do for fun, is he would close his eyes, he would look at the clock because it had a second counter on it, and he would close his eyes and count to 60 and try and match it up perfectly. So for the 1 minute, he would have it in his mind. And, you know, he would do that just all the time. And he realized that he would always have to stop it at 56 seconds because no matter how much he tried to compensate for getting it right, he would always be slow or fast or whatever it is. And then he started experimenting. Can I write while I'm doing this? Can I count while I'm doing this? Can I talk while I'm doing this? And he started to get his whole colleagues in on it as well. And every single person could do it differently. One person could do it while they wrote. One person could do it while they talked. One person could do it while they were drawing or something like that. No one could do it quite the same. So we're all experiencing the world in slightly different way. So I really like that you know, you've kind of you're kind of exploring that side of reality and dreams. That's really cool to me to hear that.
Yeah, and also remember that your perception creates your reality. You know, if you always have a happy-go-lucky attitude, you tend to have a happy life. When you have a very negative outlook on things, you tend to have negative consequences. So it's like there's a lot of that going on in here too, where it's like your perception or it creates your reality. You know,
and to piggyback on that, it's this, and to piggyback on what you were saying, Michael, Michael B, because this is my Michael, was that if there was an accident in front of you, you gather 10 people and they've seen the same accident, but the person in front of it says, "I saw a yellow car." The next person said, "I saw a red car." The third person said, "Oh, she had short hair," and you're like, how do you not know what's in front of you? Because in a 360 degree, people saw something different, but the reality is an accident happened. It was just how you saw the accident. So that's why that question in the beginning, you know, is, you know, whose reality is it, you know?
There's a moment in at the end of the Harry Potter where Harry's in this sort of like he's in King's Cross Station or something. He's kind of dead. And he Dumbledore's there, and he asks, "Is this a dream or is this really happening?" And he said, "Well, what's the difference?"
Yeah.
I love that. I love that line. I love that moment. It really capped off that series really well. And I always kind of thought about that as I was writing my story as well. I haven't gone too much into that side of things the way that you guys have. Like, you know, is this real? Is this reality? So that's what I love. Like, you guys are telling a story about dreams. I'm telling a story about dreams. 100 million people have told stories about dreams, but everyone comes at it from a slightly different perspective. I'm seeing here, you guys have, this is the book 1 comes in 3 variant adventures. I've never seen that before. Can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Sure. What it is you got 3 books, 3 different covers with 3 different variant stories inside. Now, the way we did it was we took 45 different panels of art spread across the 3 books and 12 different pages spread across the 3 books to create little different parts of the story here and there. You know, it's like this person's page 12 ain't going to be quite like that person's page 12, and it's just going to be all kind of done around and little extras here. And one of the things I always hated is like when you have extra or you have variant covers, it's like, okay, well, it's just a variant cover. And I would never buy a variant cover just because it's like, well, it's the same book. I don't care who's on the front of it. I just want the story. So it's like, if you're going to sell a book with a variant cover, why don't you have some variant story inside? Why don't you give them a little bit different? Yeah, give an incentive to buy the different things, and also ours comes wrapped, signed, and numbered, and all that. So it's all pretty cool experience there.
Yeah, and the difference is that the ones that are on the front page here, they get a printed, signed, and numbered SKITS band. But if you were on the mailing list that we had on the pre-launch stage when we were selling that sizzle, you actually get a hand-drawn SKITS band. So yours is going to be different. So again, that's a different perception,
and at a discount,
different reality.
Wow, yeah, I've never heard or seen of anyone doing that before. I talk about this stuff a lot. I talk about how we're like the people who were starting to design games for the very first PlayStation. They had all this technology, but they didn't know what to do with it yet. And we have all this stuff before us now that we can now do with printing is cheaper than it's ever been. The options are cheaper than they've ever been. We can get out directly to potential fans and customers right on YouTube and on Twitter and on whatever other social media. You can do really cool stuff, and you guys here are pushing the envelope. I've never seen this before. This is actually really intriguing, and it's like, why wouldn't you?
Thank you.
You can. I love reading stories. You get a slightly different perspective if it's small things have just changed.
Well, here's the thing. Like I told you at the beginning, I started out doing graphic design right after college. Did a little illustration, but I do product development now. So I develop products for people for usage and different stuff like that. So I was like, okay, let me take my knowledge of the industry for developing new products, and let's do my own thing. I want my product to be completely different than anyone else. I want our comic books to be different than everyone else's. So I was just like, okay, here's what we can do. We can do little different stories inside. We can wrap it and do a signed and numbered edition type deal. We can, if you look at some of our stretch goal stuff, we got stuff that no one else is doing. I just wanted everything that I do to be different than what everyone else is doing. So we give people something exciting and new. I just don't want to do the same old thing anymore. That's when, I did fine art for years. And the one thing I hated about fine art is a lot of the people who push the galleries and stuff like that, they push you to do the same type of work over and over and over again so they can market and sell it, but I've never liked doing that. It's like, once I've done something, I want to move on to the next. I want to do something different. So that's exactly what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with our stretch goals. So we did that on the update, and it's different. We only talked about it, I think, once on a stream the other day on Drew Love's stream. Thanks, Drew, so much. And they were like, no one is doing this, and we're like, I don't know why. Like, it's pretty easy and cost effective, and it's just a matter of just breaking the wheel, as they say.
Yeah, it's because no one's done it before. Well, you've definitely got some fans in here in the chat. Verse Films Production says high-end art. Xevious is here. Tetsunami says, I got all three to give to friends and family. That's a great idea too. Yeah. And this band, we can see the band here. I just had it up here that goes around the books. Yeah, you're right. I mean, push the envelope and, just do things. People don't do things because they haven't seen them before. And, sometimes it takes someone to just sort of step out into the unknown. And then if it's a good idea, it'll take off, and then you'll find everyone's doing it. And you've got to find something new to do.
Tetsunami had a sweet
exactly.
Tetsunami had a sweet message earlier that it said it's to you guys, skits comic. It just says never wake up, keep dreaming, and then it has the smiley face with the little hearts for eyes. Yeah. So, there you are.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Thank you, Tetsunami.
I just went back and found my mailing list email, and because I didn't realize what the mailing list thingy was. Great. The toy train is coming around again. Sorry about that. But anyway, so now I have to choose between, do I want the normal band or the custom made band? I'm getting overwhelmed here now. Okay.
We're gonna go into we'll go into the perks in a bit. We're still just scrolling down through the page. So you've got Kent Williams doing the covers. Is that right, or was that just one of the covers?
Just
That's
one
just
of the
one,
covers.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's legendary in his own right. So
Yes.
that's
I mean,
I've heard
for
about
me,
you
it's like
guys.
I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to get some big artists on this book, and I was just like, Kent Williams is like way up here, and I was just like, can we get him? And she was like, yeah, she'll go get him. So she went and got Kent Williams, and it was just awesome. I mean, for me, it's like a dream come true because I love Kent Williams. He's one of my favorite artists out there. You know, I've been following him since
just
the
dragged
late
him
80s.
by the ear and pulled him over.
How?
I just literally emailed him and he said, okay, here's my number, call me.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, give us a call, man. We'll talk about it.
And then so you've got different. So Patrick Reynolds is on another cover.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah,
just
he's
emailed
awesome,
him. And,
awesome guy. We actually went to the same college at different times, but yeah, it was awesome.
Love him.
Great. All right. So now you're going into the team. There's you, Carshénah. We've got Michael there. And
that's me.
Talking a little bit more about the books and more things. And yeah, okay, cool. Let's go into the perks. Let's talk about because you guys, I said, you guys have a lot of interesting stuff going on here, more than most people do. So there's that, and this is the one that, I mean, going what we're talking about, this is really kind of the one that you want to get, isn't it? Because this has got all the books, all the variant stories and covers, and you get the band on it and everything.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's the featured tier. You get your 3 books with the 3 different covers with the 3 variant stories inside, wrapped in a skits band, signed and numbered specifically for you. I mean, how cool is that? There's nothing better on the market on Indiegogo or anything doing right now. I mean, we got the prize. So go get it, man. This is the best.
And the other cool thing, like we mentioned before, what Blue Samurai was like, oh no, what do I do? Is that if you were on that mailing list, same 3-book journey at a discounted price, but you get a skits band that's hand drawn. Because we wanted to give, an extra perk to those that, went the distance, that was on our mailing list, to say, hey, here is actual and original sketch that we're giving to you because you purchased, the 3-book journey.
This is what I'm saying to people.
This
is what I'm saying to people. It doesn't cost you anything to get on these emailing lists. And then once you're on, you never know what they're going to be offering. And it could be something amazing like that, a discount on this package. And how long are each of these books? Sorry, I didn't ask before.
Each one of the books is 60 plus pages.
So you're getting 360 plus pages. Each story is a variation, so you get a different perspective on what's happening, and then it all comes packaged. That is an amazing deal you're offering there.
See, this is great because it's a huge reread value.
Thank you.
Like some movies you can't watch a third time. Like what was it? The one we talked about last night with the boy who shot dead people. It's like you see all the secrets the second time through, and then the third time it's like, no, this would be great. You've twisted my arm enough, so you got one more backer. Okay.
Excellent. Great stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But are you going to be the backer on the pre-launch, or are you going to be
I'm a sucker for custom, so I did the pre-launch.
Perfect. There you go. Get the good one.
And just letting everyone know in the chat, if you have that and you're not ready to purchase just yet, that email is not going to go away until the close of the campaign. So it is there throughout the entire campaign. I know some people are like, oh, you have to do it within like 10 days or do this or a day. We're like, no, you do it until the campaign closes.
Man. Yeah, it's open for as long as the campaign's open. So if you got that email, you can go get it at any time.
It's another bonus.
Yep.
It went out last Thursday, the 4th, in case you're looking through your email for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it goes to spam, sometimes it goes to junk, sometimes it goes to promotion if you're a Gmail person. I mean, it went to my spam or junk folders, and it's my campaign, so
everyone's been saying that. I had the same thing. It's unfortunate, isn't it? You know what happens is because I actually work for a company that does email marketing, and we don't use MailChimp which is the one I use to send out my email. We use a more high-end thing, and what they have to do is they have to do what's called a ramp up, which is where they start sending small numbers of emails to more and more people over a period of time, and that will show all the different email companies that this is a legitimate source. It's not a spam thing, and then you don't end up in people's junk mail. But of course, we don't really have that luxury, unfortunately. But we just have to keep telling people. That's why YouTube is important. Go check your junk mails. Go check your promotions folders or whatever.
Exactly.
So so you've also got the three different. Now these aren't variant covers. I mean, they are variant covers, but they're variant stories as well. So remember that.
They're the individual. So if you're not able to get the 3-book journey and you just want to just pick up a book, then you can pick whichever book that you like. And on the back end, if you decide that you did want to do the 3-book journey, you can add on as well. Because maybe you said, okay, I don't
maybe you only want 2 books.
Maybe you only want 2 books.
You can add an extra book on in the background as an add-on. No big deal.
No extra
shipping.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But we're still going to understand.
Exactly.
We're still going to understand the story from beginning to, from the first page to the end page before the cliffhanger, right?
That's right. Yeah, you can get one book and read it just fine, no problem.
It's a standalone that by itself. Yep.
That's what we like to hear. So, and now you can also get a original sketch with your book.
Yeah, so this one right here goes back to, I buy a ton of art books and comic books and stuff like that, and people are always doing the sketches like on the inside. It's like, man, sometimes I get some good ones and I want to hang them up on the wall, So I'm just like, well, why don't I just get a nice piece of 100% rag, archival paper, do my drawing on there, shove it right in the book and send it on. That way you can either keep it in the book or you can hang it up somewhere.
And it's not creased.
No.
Or
I
damaged.
swear it's getting spookier and spookier, the connection between your campaign and mine, because I'm doing the exact same thing. I had the exact same thought. I don't want them to like see, hey, we get a cool sketch and then they put it on their shelf and just don't ever see it again, except whenever they want to pick up the book again.
Exactly.
I did the same thing. I've got it's expensive card. It's 100% cotton, acid-free archival watercolor card. And that's what I'm doing my head sketches and sketch cards on. And, so you can have it because you do see anyone who kind of calls into these shows, a lot of them, they have stuff on their wall. Like, look at me here. You want to put the stuff up on your wall. So it's so funny that you guys have that same feeling. That's so cool.
Yeah, great minds do think alike.
Oh, and also on the back end of that, you can add the other 2 books and turn it into a 3-book journey. And that's just for an extra $50, and you don't have to pay any extra shipping.
Excellent. And then you've also got a page of the sequentials as well available.
Yep. It's going to either be pencils and ink, or pencils, ink, and paint. I got 3 different art styles I'm doing this book in, so who knows what you'll get. Plus, you get a book with it, and again, you can add those other 2 books on the back end and turn it into a 3-book journey.
Excellent. And then you're doing, you can be drawn into the book as a character?
That's the reality blur, yes.
Yeah, you could be any character you want. We've had Wanger, he was saying he wanted to be a building.
I saw that.
Earlier today.
I watched that show earlier, yeah. It's like,
I know, it's like, so you could...
Where was it? No, it was down here.
But, I mean, it's down at the bottom, but you can be anything
can I be this
you want,
building?
so we'll make it happen for you. Yeah.
Oh,
I love on the
Wanger.
Street, a tree, or your face on the tree. Everyone's seen Lord of the Rings. They know it happens.
That's
exactly.
Right. Yep.
Which is why it's called reality blur. It's like we can put you on anything, to blur your reality, which is cool.
Yep.
And
this could be you.
That's right. You've got a page of a splash art and a copy as well.
Yep, you got
a orderly capture.
Yep, splash art, and all of these pages also are 11 by 17 or bigger. So this is a splash page, pencils, inks, paint, whatever ends up on it, plus a book, and then you can do the 2 add-ons in the background and do the 3-book journey for no extra shipping.
Mm.
And what have you got here? A double. So your same thing, double page spread though. So that's going to be a big
Yeah,
thing.
so this is the double. Yeah, this is the double page spread, and the way people do it, or comic book artists usually do, is they take 2 pieces of 11 by 17 paper and they stick them together with some tape. Well, I'm doing this like from an art perspective. You're getting a nice 100% rag, acid free, all that jazz, nice piece of art paper that's 20 by 30 inches. Let me say that again, 20 inches by 30 inches. And that's what the double page spread is actually drawn or worked on. And plus you get the 3-book journey. So.
Yeah, that's huge, huh? I'm just going to translate that into centimeters for my Australian mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's huge. 20 inches is 50 centimeters for everyone who cares. Probably only me, but I need to know this stuff. 20 by 76. It's probably like A2 size or something like that, which is really big. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's like a sizable thing to hang on your wall.
Yep.
It's a piece of art.
Yeah, it's a piece of
And
art.
now
That's the way we see all of
guys,
our
everyone
stuff
must-
is art.
Everyone is like, you've got a straight jacket.
Why did I back it already? They have a
Real-
straight jacket.
A real straight jacket, not the one that you get at the costume shop. We know a guy, but they are real, authentic straight jackets, like the ones that you would get at a hospital or so. And they are one of 5 currently. So
5. And it also comes with a tag on it, an 8-inch tag that'll be drawn on and signed and numbered. There's only 5 of them, so you get one of 5. And then you also get a page of sequential art, and you get the 3-book journey.
as well. So how cool is it to be walking around Australia with your SKITS jacket, one in the world, one of 5 in the world, with like a nice little SKITS, whatever. That's awesome, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And they do come in small, medium, large, and extra large. So.
I can think of some people that I might want to put in this straight jacket, but I would be scared to wear a straight jacket. I'd feel like, I'm not Houdini.
It's
I wouldn't be
fun.
able
You
to
get to hug yourself.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
You get to hug
You're
yourself.
hugging yourself.
You hug yourself.
And I can't hurt myself.
Exactly. That's self-love.
It's like a Snuggie, but different.
And you've already sold. Wow. You've already sold the original cover art.
Yeah.
Yes, because that person was guaranteed to be number 1 when it's the sign and number.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the actual perk. And so, if you want to be number 1, then have at thee.
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. How far along are you with the art, Michael?
I'm 1/3 of the way done with the book when we launched.
Okay. Yep. And it says delivery by April 2021. All right. That sounds
Exactly.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
wow.
basically I took however much time it's going to take me to make it, and then I times it times 3, just in case of screw-ups, just in case of world pandemics. Want to make sure we get it to you at the right time. And most likely it'll probably ship before then, but let's just give us a buffer.
I did
and make
the
sure it
exact
gets
same
out
thing. I did
within
the
that
exact
time.
same thing. I launched around about a month before you guys, and I said it's April 2021 as well, just a buffer. I don't want anyone kind of coming back at me saying, "Oh, you're late" or anything. Like, I launched during the kind of height of the pandemic, so I was like, stuff can happen. Who knows? We haven't even been receiving any international posts for about 3 months here in Australia. So I'm only just starting to get books that I've ordered now. I just got a Soul Finder from Doug Ernst the other day, which is a great book if anyone's interested in reading that. So I've got stuff to read again, and hopefully, there'll be some good stuff coming in. But you just never know, in this crazy world. Look what's happening out in the world right now. Who knows what's going to happen? It's a good idea.
But you know what? But we're not going to stop for no one, so.
We ain't stopping. We're just going to keep on trucking.
Yeah.
That's a good thing that we can do, huh? We can just, put our head down and get to work. Joe King says he already has a straight jacket. It came with the lodging. It was
And
it was
also
mandatory.
on our skits. Yes, and also on our skits YouTube channel, Michael has been doing his skits in the AM. That we work on the name if he likes that name, but he's actually showing people and working on skits. Like the other day, he was working on page 1, 2, and 3,
Yep.
and these are only insights that people get, while
Yep.
they're watching him work, so people can actually be immersed into the process, because that's one of the things that we wanted to do is we want to make sure that the audience, the reader, gets to be on that journey with us. So when they actually get they're like, oh, I remember that page when he drew it that day. That's this page, that type of feeling.
Yep.
We don't want anyone to be left out, as much as possible,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another part of what we can do here that wasn't available before, and I find it funny. Who did Ethan had Graham Nolan on yesterday, and they were like shaking their head a little bit at some of the things he had on his new campaign, where he's got like his $200 tier to have a Skype call with him, and they were laughing because that's kind of old school thinking. Like, no, you've got to be out there on YouTube talking to your fans for free. I mean, like all these guys in the chat, I know them. I know all their names, Maybe not. Have I seen you before, Kennel Hair?
Yep.
I don't know if I have. So if I haven't, thank you so much for coming. It's always great to see new people here. And you guys know this just as well, because you've had your channel for a while now, and you know exactly what it's like to build up the audience, and you get to know everyone in your chat, and that's how you sell books, like person to person interactions.
Yes.
It's like every time I do a stream, we're chatting about whatever, and then a couple of days later I get an order and I see it and I go, that name looks familiar. I remember him from the chat the other day. That's how you move books.
Exactly.
There it is. Twitter.
That's right.
Twitter. Excellent. Yeah, it's fantastic. And
Nice.
The funny thing about Twitter is I went onto a stream with Captain F Head yesterday, and he's kind of guest. He's a great guy. So that's not like I know these guys from Twitter, and then you finally meet them face to face. It's so cool. But he had a guy on his show, the guest. He's his regular dude, his wingman. And I'm like, I don't know if we've met before. We said hello. And then I saw his avatar. I'm like, oh, it's you. Yes, we know each other. Of course.
Exactly.
The dark guy. Yeah. So then I showed my avatar. I always do this when I go into a show. I go like, hey, guys, in case anyone doesn't recognize me, this is me here. Hello. And then I come back. So people recognize me. Yeah.
That's good. And that's what the world that we're living in right now. We're living in avatars and saying, electronic hellos, because that's what works. And we're on all platforms. And when we started, Michael didn't even have that many. And so, I was like, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to put yourself out there.
I don't really care for the social media stuff. The only reason I'm doing it is to talk to fans, people who are interested in the book. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be here, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, look, so it's not for everyone.
Glad you're here.
For me, we are glad you're here because, you guys as a team, you're just like, I think you're becoming kind of iconic on the scene now. Your enthusiasm and I just see you guys everywhere. And so, it really is, helping raise your profile. And that's what it's all about. You can have the best product out there. If no one knows about it, then they're not going to buy it. So, luckily for me, I quite enjoy this. I like meeting guys like you and, just making new connections and chatting about dreams and books and all sorts of stuff. What is going on in the chat here? Mo Big says, that's you, Michael. You charge extra to see you in your Ant-Man gear. I don't know what that's about. But
because you look like Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's me. Oh, that's He was saying he calls me Bancroft. He's confusing me now, Mo Biggs. Apparently I do look like Paul Rudd. That's what people keep saying. I don't see it personally, but look, hey, I'll take it. Whatever. He's the guy who never ages, so it works out for me.
We only get to see
that is true.
We only get to see like a low res version of you. Even at HD, you're still kind of small, But we don't, we don't see all your pimples. You're familiar. So.
I've got a better connection now. I got a better internet, so hopefully it looks better. Hey, Kennel Hair gave me a compliment earlier. He said, "Awesome animation, thank you, buddy." Yeah, that's cool that you've seen that. And who else we got here?
Horace.
Horace the Great says, just wait till he makes it big. He won't want to know any of us. And that's not true. That is not true. Never. Shane Burgess is here. Better than being Kevin Rudd. You guys don't know. Kevin Rudd is our old prime minister. And yeah, he was like he was like our Barack Obama basically, and he turned out to be like in terms of just the media swooning and just the hope and change message, and like you'd never seen a wetter blanket in your life when he actually became prime minister. But we won't get into politics. We're talking books here, and we've only got 5 minutes left. So yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the book or anything?
Well, basically, we just want to tell everybody that we got the most unique product out there. We're trying to change everything up. We're trying to do things different. Just go ahead and give us a chance with that, because I know we're not doing things like everybody else, but that's what makes us awesome. So go out there and get those books, man.
Yes, and if you could, Michael B., if you could go back to the campaign and hit the update. We just put up our new stretch goals for everyone to get everyone excited about what we're doing to push us over the edge. And again, like I said, those stretch goals are even crazier. And then people need to know.
The first two.
Well, not the first two, but that's still good because some people they don't think about that. But the first one is already been unlocked. Thank you, everyone, so much. And of course, all backers receive the higher quality interior for the comic, and then so on and so forth. So,
right. So, what have you got here? The next one at 10K, we've got a higher quality cardstock for the cover. That's always good. I do like a nice, thick card. Makes it feel just that much better when you get it in your hand.
Yes.
Yep. All backers will receive.
I talk about that on Come Get Some.
Yeah. I picked up a book the other day, and its cover was just it needed to be maybe a few points heavier, because it really did just. I mean, it was heavier than, obviously it's heavier than the paper stock, the text stock, but it's still just a little bit heavier. It would have really. I wouldn't have noticed it. You don't want to notice it. That's the thing. So at 12K, you get an adjustable paper puppet bookmark. Now, I've never seen anyone do that before, and that really fits in with this book. I can see that really fitting in. That's great. At 16K, backers will receive some crazy SKITS craft mask to wear. Wow, it's going to be like a flat card mask or something like that.
It's something, come print it out, you cut it out, and then you can wear it as a mask over your face.
Excellent. And then you can ask your backers to post photos of that on your social media so they can share that around.
Yeah.
With their straight jackets.
Yeah, with their straight jackets.
In the middle of the road.
Yes.
At 20K, all backers will receive you're going to have to pronounce this for me.
It's a thaumatrope.
What's that? I'm not familiar with that.
Do you remember the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp? It was where the bird in the cage, the optical illusion that you get to play with and turn, so the bird looks like it's in that. So we'll have one for SKITS.
Yeah, so we're making one of those.
You should have called it a little birdie toy flip thing. Then I know what it is.
Well, SKITS is going to be there, so we can't call it a birdie. But yes, see, we're already thinking outside the box because, like you said, you have a little one. That's something that you can have your kids play with, something that you can show anyone, anywhere. And again, all these things fit inside the book. So shipping is awesome and phenomenal that there's no extra shipping with that.
Excellent. And we're about to run out of time. So anyone who wants to go and check that out, all the other ones on the page, that's really cool. They've got a lot of here planned out. So that's really awesome. And if I refresh this, apparently you got a new backer. So that was blue. Yep, 81. There you go. Excellent. I always love it.
Nice.
Now, this is book one. So how many books do you think you have planned?
We got 5 more coming after this.
Okay.
We don't think. We already written them out.
They're already written, ready to go.
Yep.
I'm
Johnny
excited.
Bendo says, Kyle from Skits. My wife says hello. She says she's a bit late today. She's been making chocolate mousse. That's nice. That's something I've got to look forward to when I go back in the house. And Kino Subway, late to the party as always. We can go back and watch it. This has been a great show. We spent the first half of the show talking about crazy dreams. You know you want to hear that. I get really passionate about that, I tell you that. And so do these guys.
Oh yeah.
And just before we go out, I'm gonna have to stop sharing the screen and start again. I think it's here. Yep, here we go. Just for my own sake, the Lucent just passed 30,000 Australian dollary dues. So thank you everyone
Nice.
who
Nice.
who back that Blue for a second thought I was talking American. He was about to freak out. No, I didn't get promoted by PewDiePie this time. It's still what is it? They're gonna make me scroll down. It's something like 20,600 or something like that, which is still friggin' amazing. I thank you everyone so much for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
your book looks fantastic, by the way.
thank you, man. That's always
And I loved your video too.
Oh, cheers! Yeah. I've got that's speaking of that. Ascension Cinema, who did that really cool trailer for Wrecked Planet for Ethan. We've been talking in the background. He's doing some cool stuff for me, so I'm going to get him on very soon, hopefully at the start of next week, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that he's done. I just got to reach out to him. I've just, you know, it's like when you're doing a comic, and especially when you're campaigning, you've got a million balls in the air, and it's just hard to keep them all up there and keep it all going. But Xavier says 30,000 didgeridoos. Woo! Yep, that's what I should start calling it.
Nah.
Has fun on the show. Skits is awesome. Yep. Oh, there you go. Blue's got the number 20,000.
That's our company we work with. Mm-hmm.
Ah, I see. Yeah, I see what's going on here. A little bit of insider trading. That's awesome. That's good. That's fine. All right, guys. Look, this has been a long time coming. I'm so happy we finally got to get together. I know you guys have a crazy schedule. You've probably got another 200 shows lined up in the next week. So I'll let you get your rest. And congratulations on the success of the book. I know you guys will be you're looking down at now. You're next kind of trying to get to 100 backers. That's going to happen soon. I'm sure of it. And thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. It's been a real treat.
It's been great to meet you.
No, thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Blue Samurai.
And thank you to everyone in the chat. You've been invaluable as always. We love seeing you here every day. No show tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day off. And then another show on, what's it going to be? Your Sunday, I think. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be there again. And we'll see you all soon. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.